I stared at the glowing screen of Adam's phone, my heart pounding in my chest. The message from Claire blinked innocently, but its contents were anything but. "Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Same place." My fingers trembled as I set the phone back on the nightstand. Adam's soft snores filled our bedroom, oblivious to the storm brewing inside me. I slipped out of bed, padding quietly to the kitchen of our cramped apartment. The clock on the microwave read 2:17 a.m. I gripped the edge of the counter, willing my breathing to slow. This had to be a mistake. There had to be an explanation. "Em?" Adam's sleepy voice startled me. "What are you doing up?" I turned, forcing a smile. "Just getting some water. Go back to sleep." He yawned, running a hand through his tousled hair. "You okay? You look pale." "I'm fine," I lied. "Really?" Adam shrugged, shuffling back to bed. I watched him go, my mind racing. Should I confront him now? Demand answers? Or wait and see what happened? The next morning, I went through the motions of getting ready for work. Adam kissed me goodbye, same as always. "Have a great day, hon." "Love you." "Love you too," I echoed, the words tasting like ash in my mouth. At the nonprofit where I worked, I couldn't focus. My coworker, Jen, noticed immediately. "Emily, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost." I hesitated, then spilled everything. Jen's eyes widened as I told her about the text. "Oh, sweetie," she said, squeezing my hand. "What are you going to do?" "I don't know," I admitted. "Part of me wants to follow him, see where he goes, but that feels wrong." Jen shook her head. "No, you need answers. If he's cheating, you deserve to know." The rest of the day crawled by. When 5 o'clock finally arrived, I raced to my car. Adam usually got home around 6:30. I had time. I parked down the street from our apartment, my stomach in knots. At 6:15, Adam's car pulled up, but instead of going inside, he walked to the corner and hailed a cab. My hands shook as I started the engine, following at a safe distance. We wound through the city until the cab stopped outside a trendy bar downtown. I watched, bile rising in my throat as Adam strode inside. 5 minutes later, a pretty blonde woman arrived. She glanced around before entering the bar. Tears blurred my vision as I fumbled for my phone. I snapped a picture just as the woman disappeared inside. "Oh, Adam," I whispered. "How could you?" I don't know how long I sat there, numb with shock and betrayal. My phone buzzed, a text from Adam. "Working late tonight, babe. Don't wait up." Anger surged through me, hot and fierce. I started the car, my mind made up. No more lies, no more excuses. As I pulled into our parking lot, my phone rang. It was Adam's mother, Lily. "Emily, dear." Her syrupy voice grated on my nerves. "I was thinking of stopping by tomorrow. Adam mentioned you two might be ready to start looking at houses. I have some ideas." "Now's not a good time, Lily," I cut her off. "I'll have to call you back." I ended the call, ignoring her protests. Taking a deep breath, I marched up to our apartment. It was time for a reckoning. The lights were off when I entered. I flicked them on, revealing the shabby furniture and peeling wallpaper. How had I let Lily convince us this dump was all we could afford? I grabbed a suitcase from the closet and began throwing Adam's clothes inside. Each item fueled my rage. By the time I heard his key in the lock, I was ready. Adam stumbled in, reeking of alcohol and perfume. He froze when he saw me. "Em, what's going on?" I met his confused gaze, my voice steady. "I think it's time we had a talk, Adam, about Claire." 3 months had passed since that fateful night. Adam swore it was a one-time mistake, begged for forgiveness. Like a fool, I believed him. Now, as I stared at our dwindling bank account, I wondered if I'd made the right choice. "Em, did you hear what I said?" Adam's voice snapped me back to reality. We sat at our rickety kitchen table, bills spread before us. "Sorry, what?" he sighed, exasperated. I said, "Mom thinks we should look at that new condo development downtown." I blinked, stunned. "Adam, we can barely afford this place. How could we possibly—" "Mom says she'll help with the down payment," he interrupted. "She thinks it's a great investment." Of course she did. Lily always had an opinion on our finances, our careers, our entire lives. I bit back a retort, trying to stay calm. "That's generous, but I'm not comfortable taking money from your mother." Adam's face darkened. "Why not? She's just trying to help." "Help control us, you mean?" I muttered. "What was that?" I forced a smile. "Nothing. Look, can we talk about this later? I have to get ready for work." As I gathered my things, my phone buzzed. A text from my mom, "Dinner this weekend?" Before I could reply, Adam appeared behind me. "Who's that?" "Just my mom." I said, pocketing the phone. She wants to have dinner. Adam frowned. This weekend? But we're supposed to look at condos with my mother. I stared at him, incredulous. When did we decide that? I told you last night, he insisted. You must not have been listening. The argument that followed was brief but intense. In the end, I caved. Again. Fine, I snapped. Tell your mother we'll go. At work, I couldn't focus. Jen found me hiding in the supply closet, fighting back tears. Oh, honey, she said, pulling me into a hug. What happened? I spilled everything, the condo, Lily's interference, Adam's attitude. Jen listened, her expression growing more concerned. Emily, she said gently, are you sure this is what you want? You seem so unhappy. I wiped my eyes, straightening my shoulders. It's just a rough patch. We'll get through it. But as the weekend approached, my anxiety skyrocketed. At a Saturday morning, I found myself trailing behind Adam and Lily as they toured a sleek, modern condo. Isn't it perfect? Lily gushed, her perfectly manicured nails tapping against the granite countertop. Adam, darling, this is exactly what you need. I bristled at her words. What Adam needed, not what we needed. The realtor, a perky blonde named Sarah, turned to me. What do you think, Mrs. Thompson? Can you see yourself living here? Before I could answer, Lily cut in. Oh, she loves it. Don't you, Emily? I forced a smile, my hands clenched at my sides. It's nice. Adam shot me a warning look. I knew that look. It meant, don't start anything. As Sarah led us to the master bedroom, my phone vibrated. A text from my dad. Everything okay, sweetie? Haven't heard from you in a while. Guilt washed over me. I'd been so caught up in this condo nightmare I'd neglected my own parents. Emily! Lily's sharp voice made me jump. Put that phone away. This is important. I looked up to see all three of them staring at me. Lily annoyed, Adam embarrassed, Sarah confused. Something inside me snapped. You know what? I said, my voice surprisingly steady. I need some air. I turned and walked out, ignoring Adam's calls. In the hallway, I leaned against the wall, trembling. What was I doing? This wasn't the life I wanted. This wasn't the marriage I dreamed of. My phone buzzed again. This time it was a notification from our joint bank account. A large transfer had just been made, the down payment for the condo. I stared at the screen, my vision blurring with tears. Adam had done it, without even asking me. As I heard their footsteps approaching, I made a decision. It was time to stand up for myself, time to fight for the life I deserved. Taking a deep breath, I squared my shoulders and prepared for the confrontation that was about to come. The condo felt like a gilded cage. 2 weeks after moving in, I found myself staring out the floor-to-ceiling windows, longing for our old, cramped apartment. At least there, I'd felt at home. The sound of a key in the lock made me tense. Adam or Lily? These days, it was hard to tell who'd come barging in uninvited. Emily, darling. Lily's shrill voice echoed through the space. Where are you? I plastered on a smile and turned to face my mother-in-law. Hi, Lily. I didn't know you were coming over. She waved a manicured hand dismissively. Oh, I was in the neighborhood. Thought I'd drop by and see how you're settling in. Her eyes narrowed as she surveyed the living room. You haven't unpacked everything yet? I bit back a retort. We've been busy with work. It's a process. Lily clicked her tongue. Well, we can't have that. I'll call my interior decorator. She'll have this place looking fabulous in no time. That's really not necessary. Nonsense, Lily interrupted. It's the least I can do. After all, I helped you get this lovely home. The way she emphasized helped made my skin crawl, as if we were children who couldn't manage on our own. Actually, Lily, I said, finding my voice, Adam and I were thinking of decorating ourselves. Make it our own, you know? Lily's smile tightened. Oh, sweetie, that's adorable. But let's leave it to the professionals, shall we? We wouldn't want it looking cheap. Before I could respond, she was on her phone, chattering away to her decorator. I retreated to the kitchen, my hands shaking as I poured myself a glass of water. This was supposed to be our fresh start, our chance to rebuild after Adam's indiscretion. Instead, it felt like Lily was taking over our lives more than ever. The front door opened again, and Adam's voice drifted in. Mom, what are you doing here? I stayed in the kitchen, listening to their muffled conversation. When Adam finally appeared, he looked sheepish. Hey, Em. Sorry about this. You know how Mom gets. I set down my glass, harder than necessary. Yeah, I do. The question is, why do you let her? Adam's face darkened. What's that supposed to mean? It means I'm tired of your mother making decisions for us. I snapped. This is our home, Adam. Ours, not hers. She's just trying to help, he argued. Why can't you be grateful? Grateful? I laughed bitterly. For what? For undermining every choice we make? For treating me like I'm not good enough for her precious son? Adam's jaw clenched. That's not fair. Mom loves you. No, Adam, she loves controlling you, and by extension, me. Our raised voices must have carried, because suddenly Lily appeared in the doorway. Is everything all right in here? I opened my mouth to speak, but Adam cut me off. It's fine, Mom. Just a little disagreement about decorating. Lily's eyes gleamed with interest. Oh, well, I'm sure we can sort that out. Emily, dear, why don't you tell me your ideas? I'm sure we can find a compromise. The condescension in her tone was the last straw. You know what, Lily? I don't want to compromise. This is my home, mine and Adam's, not yours. The room fell silent. Adam looked horrified, while Lily's face turned an alarming shade of red. Well, she said, her voice dangerously low, I see someone's forgotten their manners. Adam, are you going to let her speak to me like that? I turned to my husband, silently pleading with him to stand up for me, for us. But as I watched the conflict play out on his face, I knew he would choose her. He always did. He said softly, maybe you should apologize. In that moment, something inside me broke. This beautiful condo, this fresh start, it was all a lie. Nothing had changed. Nothing ever would. I grabbed my purse and headed for the door. I need some air, I muttered. As I stepped into the hallway, I heard Lily's voice behind me. Really, Adam, I don't know why you put up with her attitude. The elevator doors closed on Adam's reply, and I leaned against the wall, fighting back tears. I'd thought moving here would fix things. Instead, it had only made everything worse. As the elevator descended, I realized I had a choice to make. Stay and fight for a marriage that was slipping away, or find the strength to walk away and reclaim my life. The doors opened, and I stepped out into the sunlight, unsure of where to go, but knowing I couldn't stay here any longer. I sat in my parents' cozy living room, clutching a mug of tea, trying to find the words to explain the mess my life had become. Mom and Dad exchanged worried glances as I recounted the latest drama with Lily and Adam. Oh, sweetheart, Mom said, reaching out to squeeze my hand. I'm so sorry you're going through this. Dad's face was a storm cloud. That woman has no right to treat you this way. And Adam, he needs to grow a spine. I nodded, fighting back tears. I just don't know what to do anymore. It's like I'm losing myself in their world. The sharp trill of my phone cut through the moment. Adam's name flashed on the screen. I hesitated, then answered. Where are you? His voice was tight with tension. Mom's been trying to reach you all day. I bit back sarcastic reply. I'm at my parents'. I needed some space. Space? Adam sounded incredulous. We have that dinner with my boss tonight. You knew that. The dinner. I'd completely forgotten. I'm sorry, Just get home, he interrupted. Mom's already here to help you get ready. The line went dead before I could respond. I stared at the phone, a knot forming in my stomach. Everything okay? Dad asked, his brow furrowed with concern. I stood, gathering my things. I have to go. There's this work dinner for Adam. Mom frowned. Emily, honey, maybe you should stay here tonight. You seem exhausted. Part of me wanted nothing more than to curl up in my childhood bedroom and forget the world, but I knew the fallout wouldn't be worth it. I'll be fine, I assured them, forcing a smile. I'll call you tomorrow. The drive home felt like a march to the gallows. As I entered the condo, Lily's voice hit me like a physical force. There you are, she exclaimed, rushing over. Honestly, Emily, how could you be so irresponsible, running off like that when you knew how important tonight is? I opened my mouth to defend myself, but Adam cut in. It doesn't matter now. She's here. Let's just get ready. Lily clucked her tongue, eyeing me critically. Well, we'll have to work quickly. I've laid out a dress for you. Go shower, and I'll do your makeup. For a moment, I considered turning around and walking right back out the door. But Adam's pleading look stopped me. Please, Em, this dinner could mean a big promotion. Defeated, I nodded and headed for the bathroom. As the hot water washed over me, I tried to steel myself for the evening ahead. An hour later, I stood before the mirror, barely recognizing myself. The dress Lily had chosen was tight and low-cut, nothing like my usual style. My face felt heavy with makeup. Perfect, Lily beamed, adjusting my hair. Now you look like a proper executive's wife. The words stung more than they should have. Is that all I was now? An accessory to Adam's career? As we prepared to leave, my phone buzzed with a text from Mom. Hope you're okay, sweetie. We're always here if you need us. A lump formed in my throat. I started to type a reply, but Lily's sharp voice interrupted. Emily, phone away. It's time to go. I looked up to see Adam already halfway out the door, Lily hovering impatiently behind him. Neither of them seemed to notice or care about my discomfort. In that moment, something shifted inside me. I thought about my parents' warm concern, contrasted with the cold expectations surrounding me now. I thought about the woman I used to be, confident, independent, and the shell I'd become. Actually, I heard myself say, my voice stronger than I expected, I don't think I'll be joining you tonight. Adam froze, turning slowly to face me. What? Lily's eyes narrowed dangerously. Don't be ridiculous. Of course you're coming. I stood my ground, heart pounding. No, I'm not. And I think it's time we had a serious talk about our future, Adam. All of us. The silence that followed was deafening. I watched emotions flicker across Adam's face. Confusion, anger, and finally, fear. He knew, as well as I did, that this was a turning point. Whatever happened next would change everything. The tension in the room was palpable as Adam, Lily, and I faced each other. I'd changed out of the tight dress, back into my comfortable jeans and sweater, feeling more like myself. Emily, Adam began, his voice strained. What's this all about? We're going to be late. I took a deep breath. We need to talk about us, Adam, about our future. Lily scoffed. This is ridiculous. You're jeopardizing Adam's career over what? A little family disagreement? It's not little, I countered, my voice stronger than I felt. It's our life, and I'm tired of feeling like I don't have a say in it. Adam's face softened slightly. I know things have been tough, but... Tough? I laughed bitterly. Adam, I feel like I'm disappearing, like everything that makes me who I am is being erased. Lily stepped forward, her eyes flashing. Now you listen here, young lady. Adam has given you a beautiful home, a comfortable life, and this is how you repay him? Mom, Adam warned, but she was on a roll. You should be grateful. Instead, you're throwing a tantrum like a spoiled child. What about your parents, Emily? Did they put these ideas in your head? The mention of my parents was the spark that ignited the powder keg. Leave them out of this, I snapped. They've done nothing but support us. Support? Lily sneered. They're holding you back. Adam, tell her. Tell her how her parents are dragging you down. I turned to Adam, shock and hurt coursing through me. What is she talking about? Adam shifted uncomfortably. It's nothing, Em. Just some things Mom and I discussed. What things? I demanded. Lily jumped in, about how your parents are always asking for help, how they're a financial burden. Adam agrees it's time to cut ties. The room spun. I stared at Adam, silently begging him to deny it, but his silence spoke volumes. You, I whispered, my voice breaking. You want to cut my parents out of our lives? It's not like that, Adam pleaded. We just think it might be best if we focused on our future, on building our own family. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My parents have never asked us for anything. They've only ever tried to help. Help? Lily scoffed. By filling your head with nonsense about independence and following your dreams? Please. It's time you grew up, Emily. I turned to Adam, tears stinging my eyes. And you agree with this? He hesitated, then nodded slowly. I think Mom has a point, Em. We need to start putting ourselves first. In that moment, something inside me shattered. The man I loved, the man I thought I knew, was siding with his mother over me, over my family. I see, I said, my voice eerily calm. Well then, I guess I know where I stand. I moved towards the bedroom, but Adam caught my arm. Wait, where are you going? I shook off his grip. I'm packing a bag. I can't stay here tonight, maybe not ever. Don't be dramatic, Lily snapped. Adam, tell her she's being ridiculous. But Adam just stood there, conflict etched across his face. Please, we can work this out. I looked at him, really looked at him, and saw a stranger. A man so entangled in his mother's web that he couldn't see the damage he was causing. Can we? I asked softly. Because from where I'm standing, it seems like you've already made your choice. I turned and walked into the bedroom, my heart pounding. As I threw clothes into a suitcase, I heard Lily's shrill voice and Adam's muffled responses. But I tuned them out, focusing on the task at hand. When I emerged with my bag, Adam was alone, Lily having finally left for the dinner. "Emily," he said, his voice breaking. "Please don't go." I met his gaze, feeling a strange mix of sadness and resolve. "I have to, Adam. I need time to think, to figure out if there's anything left to save here." As I reached for the door, Adam called out one last time. "I love you, Em." I paused, my hand on the doorknob. "I love you too, Adam, but right now, that's not enough." With that, I stepped out into the hallway, closing the door on the life I'd known. As I rode the elevator down, I realized I was facing a crossroads. Stay and fight for a marriage that was crumbling, or leave and rediscover the woman I used to be. The choice, I knew, would change everything. 2 weeks had passed since I'd walked out of the condo. 2 weeks of soul-searching, of rediscovering who I was without Adam's shadow looming over me. I'd been staying with my parents, their unwavering support a balm to my battered spirit. But it was time. Time to face the music, to decide once and for all if my marriage was worth saving. I stood outside the condo door, key in hand, heart pounding. Adam's texts had been a mixture of apologies and pleas over the past fortnight. Part of me hoped that this separation had been a wake-up call for him. Taking a deep breath, I unlocked the door and stepped inside. The first thing that hit me was the silence. No TV blaring, no Lily's shrill voice offering unsolicited advice, just quiet. "Adam?" I called out, my voice echoing in the empty space. No response. I moved through the living room, noticing small changes. My favorite throw pillow was missing. The photos of my family were gone from the mantel. A chill ran down my spine as I approached the bedroom. The door was slightly ajar, and I could hear muffled sounds coming from inside. My hand trembled as I pushed the door open. The world stopped. There, tangled in our sheets, the ones I'd picked out when we first moved in, was Adam. And he wasn't alone. A blonde head peeked out from under the covers, and I found myself staring into the startled eyes of Claire, Adam's coworker. For a moment, no one moved. Then Adam scrambled up, wrapping a sheet around his waist. I can explain." But I was already backing away, my vision blurring with tears. I turned and ran, Adam's desperate calls fading behind me. I made it to the elevator before the sobs hit, racking my body as I slumped against the wall. How could he? After everything we'd been through, how could he do this? My phone buzzed incessantly, Adam, no doubt, trying to reach me. I silenced it, unable to deal with his excuses. Instead, I called the one person I knew would understand. "Jen," I choked out when she answered. "Can you come get me? I'm at the condo." 20 minutes later, I was in Jen's car, recounting the horrific scene I'd walked in on. "That bastard," Jen seethed, gripping the steering wheel. "I'll kill him." I shook my head, feeling hollow. I can't believe it. Was I so blind? How long has this been going on?" Jen's expression softened. "Oh, honey, this isn't your fault. Adam's the one who broke his vows." As we drove, my shock slowly gave way to anger. Years of compromises, of bending to Adam's and Lily's will flashed through my mind. And for what? To be betrayed in the most painful way possible? "I want to destroy him," I whispered, surprising myself with the vehemence in my voice. Jen glanced at me, a fierce glint in her eye. "Then let's destroy him. You've got options, Em. Legal options." My phone buzzed again, this time with a text from Lily. "How dare you upset Adam like this? Call him back immediately." Something snapped inside me. The last thread of hope, of love, severed cleanly. "You're right," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. "I need a lawyer, and I need to document everything." Jen nodded approvingly. "That's my girl. We'll start making calls tomorrow. For now, let's get you somewhere safe." As we pulled up to Jen's apartment, I felt a strange mix of devastation and determination. My marriage was over. That much was clear. But this wasn't the end of my story. It was the beginning of my revenge. I stepped out of the car, leaving behind the naive, accommodating Emily. In her place stood a woman scorned, a woman ready to fight for herself. Adam and Lily had no idea what was coming, but they were about to find out. The office of Harriet Sloane, divorce attorney extraordinaire, buzzed with an energy that matched my own determination. I sat across from her, a thick folder of evidence spread between us. "Well, Emily," Harriet said, her steely eyes gleaming, "I must say, you've given me quite a lot to work with." I nodded, my jaw set. "I want everything I'm entitled to, and then some." Harriet smiled, a predatory grin that sent a shiver down my spine. "Oh, we'll get that and more. Adam's infidelity, combined with the financial records you've provided, Let's just say he's in for a rude awakening. As we discussed strategy, my phone buzzed incessantly. Adam, again. I silenced it without a second thought. Now, Harriet continued, about the condo. A commotion outside interrupted us. Raised voices, a scuffle. Suddenly the door burst open, revealing a disheveled Adam and an irate Lily. "Emily!" Adam cried, his eyes wild. "Please, just talk to me." I stood, fury coursing through my veins. "How dare you come here? This is a private meeting." Lily pushed past Adam, her face contorted with rage. "You ungrateful little—" "That's quite enough," Harriet interjected, her voice sharp as a blade. "Mr. Thompson, Mrs. Thompson, I suggest you leave immediately before I call security." Adam stepped forward, his hands outstretched. Baby, please, we can work this out. I made a mistake, but I love you." I laughed, a bitter sound that surprised even me. "Love? You call what you did love? You betrayed me, Adam. You and your mother both." Lily bristled. "Now see here." "No, you see here," I snapped, years of pent-up frustration pouring out. "You've controlled our lives for too long. You pushed me aside, belittled me, tried to cut me off from my own family. Well, guess what? It ends now." Adam's face paled. "What are you saying?" I turned to Harriet, who nodded encouragingly. "I'm saying I want a divorce, and I'm going to take you for everything you're worth." The room fell silent. Adam staggered back as if I'd physically struck him. Lily's mouth opened and closed, for once at a loss for words. "You can't do this," Adam finally whispered. "What about our life together? Our future?" "Our future," I echoed incredulously. "You threw that away the moment you decided to sleep with Claire." Adam's eyes widened in shock. Lily gasped, turning to her son. "You didn't." "Oh, he did," I confirmed, a grim satisfaction settling over me. "In our bed, no less." The look of betrayal on Lily's face almost made me laugh. Almost. "Adam," she hissed, "is this true?" He fumbled for words, his carefully constructed world crumbling around him. "Mom, It's not." "Save it," I cut in. "I have all the evidence I need. Now both of you, get out." Security arrived, summoned by Harriet's discreet call. As they were escorted out, Adam made one last desperate plea. "Emily, please. I'll do anything. We can start over, just the two of us. No more interference, I promise." For a moment I wavered. The look in his eyes, so familiar, so full of regret. But then I remembered the sight of him with Claire, and my resolve hardened. "Goodbye, Adam," I said quietly, turning away. As the door closed behind them, I sank back into my chair, exhausted but exhilarated. Harriet watched me carefully. "Are you all right?" she asked. I took a deep breath, feeling lighter than I had in years. "Yes," I replied, surprised to find I meant it. "I think I finally am." Harriet nodded approvingly. "Good. Now let's get back to business. We have a lot of work to do." As we dove back into the details of the divorce proceedings, I felt a spark of excitement. For the first time in years, I was taking control of my life. The road ahead would be challenging, but I was ready. Adam and Lily had underestimated me for the last time. Now it was my turn to show them exactly what I was capable of. 1 year. It had been 1 year since I'd walked out of that condo, leaving behind a life that no longer fit. As I stood in front of the mirror, adjusting my blazer, I barely recognized the woman staring back at me. Gone was the meek, accommodating Emily. In her place stood someone stronger, fiercer. Today was the day. The final hearing in my divorce proceedings against Adam. I'd fought tooth and nail for every concession, every dollar. Harriet had been a godsend, guiding me through the legal labyrinth with a shark-like tenacity that matched my own newfound determination. As I entered the courthouse, I spotted Adam and Lily huddled together, looking haggard and defeated. Adam's eyes met mine, a flicker of regret passing over his face. I held his gaze unflinching before turning away. The proceedings were a blur of legal jargon and tense negotiations, but when the judge finally announced her decision, time seemed to stand still. In light of the evidence presented, the court rules in favor of the plaintiff, Emily Thompson. I closed my eyes, relief washing over me as the judge detailed the settlement. The condo, half of Adam's savings, alimony. It was more than I dared hope for. As we filed out of the courtroom, Lily accosted me, her face twisted with fury. "You've ruined him," she hissed. "Are you happy now?" I met her gaze calmly. "No, Lily, you ruined him. You and your constant meddling, your toxic influence. I just finally stood up for myself." Adam appeared behind her, looking shell-shocked. Save it, Adam." I cut him off. "It's over. Really, truly over." As I walked away, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. It was done. I was free. Months passed. I threw myself into my work at the nonprofit, channeling my newfound energy into causes I believed in. I reconnected with old friends, rebuilt my relationship with my parents. Slowly but surely, I rediscovered the joy in life that I'd lost during my marriage. Then, on a crisp autumn evening, my phone rang. Lily's name flashed on the screen. I hesitated, then answered. "Emily?" Lily's voice was small, broken. I need your help." She went on to explain how Adam had spiraled after the divorce, losing his job, turning to drinking. She was at her wit's end. "Please," she begged. "You're the only one who might be able to get through to him." For a moment, I was tempted. The old Emily would have rushed to help, would have sacrificed her own well-being for others. But I wasn't that woman anymore. "I'm sorry, Lily," I said, my voice firm but not unkind. "But that's not my responsibility anymore. Adam's choices are his own, just like yours. I hope you both find the help you need, but it won't be from me." I ended the call, a sense of finality settling over me. It was the last thread connecting me to my old life, and I'd just cut it clean. Later that night, I sat on the balcony of my new apartment, watching the city lights twinkle below. My phone buzzed with a text from Jen. "Drinks tomorrow to celebrate your promotion?" I smiled, typing back a quick, "Absolutely." As I gazed out at the skyline, I felt a profound sense of peace. The journey had been hard, painful at times, but I'd emerged stronger, wiser, more true to myself than I'd ever been. I thought about the woman I was a year ago, trapped in a loveless marriage, constantly bending to the will of others. She seemed like a stranger now. "You did it, Emily," I whispered to myself, raising my glass in a silent toast. "You survived. You thrived." The future stretched out before me, full of possibilities. For the first time in years, I was excited to see where life would take me next. Whatever challenges lay ahead, I knew I had the strength to face them. As the cool night air caressed my face, I closed my eyes, savoring the moment. This wasn't an ending, I realized. It was a beginning. My beginning. And I couldn't wait to see what came next.